Welcome to Smartphone Sketch ugh, Smartphone Sketches, episode 5. And now in this episode, I've been planning this for a few days. It's going to be fan art of Mega Man. As I was researching on Mega Man and trying to figure out officially which arm the arm cannon goes on, I was finding out that this is the 35th anniversary of the character. It was Christmas time, 1987, that Mega Man 1 first debuted. It wasn't until 1993 that I got in Mega Man X for Super NES and got really into the color coding as he uploaded different types of weaponry and really got into the game in the canon. No pun intended. And so I've already prepped the figurative canvas for this piece, and let's jump in. So I'll move the controls here. And let's start with a little gestural drawing. So Mega Man is still pretty slim. He's meant to be a robot boy and not a full-grown man. So he's not too thick in the build. He's got those big, huge feet. So on my research, I found out that the arm cannon is it's mostly on the left hand. So I'll make his right hand is bracing on the arm cannon. He can be striking a pose. Right, just gonna clean that up a little. Now this is a fan brush, but it feels a little bit more like a chalkboard eraser. Without a visual reference to work directly off of. I'm pretty much just going by ear on the design. And we can slowly build our way up on this. So do you, my viewers, have that much experience with Mega Man and his franchise? When I heard about the new Mario movie and saw the trailer, I noticed that he wasn't part of this, but I'm not sure if I'm thinking part of that is that I'm not too sure. Is Mega Man's creative rights, intellectual rights, much more closely held by Konami than Donkey Kong or Mario would be to specifically Nintendo? I'm not entirely too sure. Noticing that, I was like, oh, come on, where's Mega Man? I think that there might have even been a shout out to Zelda, Legend of Zelda. So we're just building on this framework. And we're quickly approaching the holidays, or we're quickly approaching Christmas at the time of this video shooting. For all of you watching in December of 2023 or any of the following years, happy holidays. All right, and beginnings of the arm cannon. So I'm not really sure where else to quite geek out about this. I play some Mega Man games, and something that stands out for me from the Game Boy Advance game was a typo where instead of laboratory, they said lavatory, like in the bathroom. At the imagine that some of you might also have great stories, little anecdotes, Mega Man experience. A lot of my earliest exposure comes from that early mid 90s Mega Man cartoon. And that's where I got to know about all the different core villains. Let's see, lighten it up a little bit more. I'm even going to try including a bit of a visual effect. when it comes to Mega Man. So now we're going to darken it because the standard armor is usually pretty two-tone. Make it look mechanical, but also very humanoid. That little sci-fi element, which in ways also feels very retro, very Jetsons Rosie the Robot. I get into that aesthetic. I was showing a Mega Man sketch to a coworker, and he said that it reminded him of Speed Racer, which I agreed with. Doing the forearm. And the hand. I'd like to add more definition there. Now, not looking directly at any reference right now. I'm just thinking that there should be some knee covering, sort of a kneecap in his armor. So we're going to put those there. From there, we build the feet. A part of this was the X armor. And I remember just how fast he would get for little spurts with these feet. The little and for a little bit of length, he could just fly off to the side before gravity caught up with Mega Man. And for the arm cannon, I'm trying to do anything too fancy. Also, Trying to get together a very nice, very fitting homage to the character. All right, it's taking form. I'm going to quickly get some of his helmet in. Just trying to get a nice angle. Zoom in on the helmet. Let's see. There we go. All right. And with the arm cannon, we add some dimension to that muzzle piece. Let's rein that in a little bit. That will be the inside. And we have to stay conscious of this arm cannon also being the forearm. So gesturally, that has to have the posture of a regular arm. Maybe not that light. There we are. Now the muzzle of the, that's too stark. Muzzle of the arm cannon is almost a chrome metal. compared to the blue. Most of his armor. This is really going to stand out. I can use that for the little features on the sides of his helmet. There we go. All right, now time to work on the rest of the armor. Is this the... That is not the blue eye that I was working with. How's this? That looks like a good next stage up. This is reminding me so much of painting. And of an assignment from freshman year of art school, where my project towards the end of the semester turned out to be a fan art piece of Wolverine, which my more classically trained painting professor, he just looked at it and he was like, you're an illustrator, aren't you? And I was just reaching the point of choosing my major at that time. Came out pretty awesome though. It was Wolverine in his stasis tank, Department H. All right, that's looking increasingly better. Just being guided by this vision that I have in my head. I think that is helping me to know what I am working on and see what I'm trying to just carve out of this medium. Clean up that a little. All right, and we're almost done. So adding the highlights for the knees. Feet. When I add in the lines, it will give that a little bit more definition. Arms. Let's see what I can do about the helmet. Got some rain last night in Boston. And this is pretty much just the wind that you can probably hear in the ambient noise. So aside from the face, just left with the helmet marking. Which has also been pretty iconic for Mega Man. It's changed a little bit over time. It still remains a key part of his visual motif. Alright, I think that I'm going to use the fan brush to take out a little bit of that side. There. Now, time to work on that face. Also the neck. So just showing a little bit of the structuring that holds up his head before I reestablish the contours of the arm cannon. At least until I can find out how to use layers in Samsung Notes. I can't tell you how tricky it is to get used to this method. It's very uncompromising. Aside from that undo option, it's anything you do a first time, that's what's there. That's coming out a little bit too orange. Let's try this. Yeah, I'm liking that. Now for his youth, because of his youth, the youth depicted in the robot, Mega Man has very curved features. It's less angular than you would see in an adult. So now I'm just going to add some dimension to the face. Lighten that a little bit more. Can't tell you how excited I am seeing this piece come together. There had been a lot of I had been experiencing a lot of anticipation building up to this. Now, how am I going to do the eyes? Searching around for just the right blue. All right. I think we've got it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of lightness. This is the finest, this is the smallest that the brush tip can get to. So it's all the more tricky trying to get these marks in. Let's see what pencil do. Especially for these features on the face. They're supposed to be so organic. And I'm not sure if the brush tip will be able to do them justice. Uh, there we go. Try redoing that nose. There we are. eyebrows. Then we can move on to the brush. Let's see. Arm. Neck. Just trying to think of ways to I'm getting up there in time. Find ways of concluding this and providing something nice and dynamic. Alright, the legs, knees. Now this with the face is a little bit different from what I have been doing with these smartphone sketches. Given that I'm using two different techniques in providing the lines. And I'd like to think that this is also in the vein of the great Will Eisner. He wrote that he'd use different type of brush pens, brush tips, and pens to signify organic or softer life from the inorganic. And so if in Mega Man there are parts that are particularly meant to synthesize humanity, why not make them softer, less rigid drawing technique? Let's get a little bit closer. Zoom in. Nice swoop. All right, now what I had been aiming for is to make it look like Mega Man's arm cannon is charging up. So we're going to use some bright lights. All right. There we go. Now, after I do the line work on the helmet, I'm just going to try experimenting a little bit to show the charge of the arm cannon. Right. There we go. Now let's see if I can lightly just add a little bit of a glow. To that arm cannon. Now, back in the 60s and 70s, there was this iconic comic artist named Jack Kirby. And he developed this technique called Kirby Crackle. So when something was charging up, there would be surrounding circles. And that would be sort of the burning up energy around it, charging. So with this, I'm seeing if I can try my hand at that. And it goes into adding the third primary color to just help all this pop off the black. All right, and just draw a little bit more attention to the arm cannon, and then you just light it up. A big thing with Mega Man was that there was usually maybe two options with his arm cannon. Simple shot, and also he could charge up the arm cannon and then discharge a bigger hit. All right, so that's my Mega Man. And thinking that I'll call this a night. Let's go back to this brush. And oh, come on. Black in red. Hey, Coleman. I hate to nitpick, but that red just stands out too much. Let's go with this. Hey, Coleman. All right. So we can chalk this up as done. Sorry that I've kept you for a full hour. Sorry that this has run so long. I'm just noticing now it's almost at an hour's length. That's longer than the Hippo or any of the others. But I'd like to think that for Mega Man, it's well worth it. Happy 35th Mega Man franchise. Congratulations to all the creative teams on making it such an iconic character. All right. Since it is fan art, you won't be able to find any of the prints available for this piece. But there's a video. I will be posting some of the art I will be posting the artist promotional pieces on my Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram. All right, well, have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave any comments below. Subscribe if you want to see more of such content. All right, good night.